For decades, the US-Canada border was the gold standard. No visas, no stress, just open roads and friendly neighbors. But in 2025, that easygoing border started to feel different. Canadians are now being fingerprinted, their phones searched, and the one simple crossing feels anything but. So, are Canadians still truly welcome? Or is this the quiet beginning of something bigger, a shift most people haven't fully noticed yet? Stick around until number 5. It's the one most Canadians never see coming. And before we get into it, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, because this isn't just a travel update. It's a reminder that even the friendliest borders can change overnight. 1. The new 30-day Ruliak year. Close to 1 million Canadian snowbirds head south to escape the cold, to Florida, Arizona, or California. For years, they could stay up to 6 months without issue, no paperwork, no red tape. But starting in 2025, things changed. Now, any Canadian planning to stay longer than 30 days must register online with U.S. immigration authorities. The process itself isn't hard, but most people don't even know the rule exists. That's where the problems begin. Immigration lawyers are reporting growing confusion. Snowbird organizations are asking for exemptions. Some travelers have already been warned or turned back. According to the Canadian Snowbird Association, the rule wasn't meant for short-term tourists, but it's being enforced anyway, and it's having a real impact. In March 2025, Canadian vehicle re-entries from the U.S. dropped by nearly 30% compared to last year. It's more than a new form. It's a quiet shift from trust to suspicion. And for Canadians used to 6 months of freedom, that 30-day cutoff doesn't just feel inconvenient. It feels like a test, one that asks, are you still welcome too? Your phone isn't private anymore. Crossing the U.S. border used to be routine. Show your passport, answer a few questions, and you were on your way. But now, border agents can search your phone or laptop without a warrant. Under U.S. law, they can read your messages, check your photos, browse your social media, and go through your browser history, and you can't refuse. A recent CBC investigation revealed growing concern among Canadian travelers. People worry they'll be flagged or even denied entry based on their political views, religious beliefs, or personal opinions. Even Canada's government is now warning citizens to expect digital searches at the U.S. border. No explanation needed. This isn't targeted enforcement. It's broad, unpredictable. Even an old meme or harmless joke could raise suspicion. In 2025, crossing into the U.S. doesn't just feel like a visit. It feels like opening a search tab on your life. 3. Canada's academic travel warning. When Canada issues a travel warning, people usually take notice. But in 2025, it wasn't the federal government leading the call. It was the country's largest academic union, the Canadian Association of University Teachers, representing over 72,000 professors and researchers, issued a rare advisory against travel to the U.S. The reason? A growing number of cases involving invasive questioning, harassment, and unexplained detentions at the border, especially for those who are racialized, transgender, politically outspoken, or belong to marginalized communities. Their advice: wipe your phone, limit personal data. Be prepared to be flagged not for what you carry, but for who you are. In response, Canadian universities have quietly changed their travel policies. Legal teams are stepping in. Conferences in cities like New York and Chicago are now being avoided. When the country's scholars start saying, maybe not this year, that's not just academic concern, it's a serious red flag. For the Quiet Pullback. Sometimes the biggest signs of change come from silence. In 2025, Canadian visits to the U.S. quietly dropped, with a 23% decrease in vehicle crossings and major dips in hotel bookings in border towns like Maine and Michigan. One motel owner in Old Orchard Beach put it simply, we're seeing cancellations we haven't seen in years, and it's all Canadians. This isn't about politics. It's about people feeling uneasy. Tour operators near the Quebec and Ontario borders say clients aren't angry. They're just not willing to risk being searched, flagged, or turned back over a short visit. It's not just fewer trips. It's fading trust. The lanes are still open, but the feeling of being automatically welcome is disappearing. And that matters. 5. Second-class treatment. This one is hard to measure, but easy to feel if you've lived it. In 2025, Canadians with Middle Eastern names, South Asian backgrounds, or Muslim identities are facing a different kind of scrutiny. Longer interviews, invasive questions, extra inspections, often with no explanation. There's no official policy stating this, but legal groups on both sides of the border say it's happening consistently and disproportionately. And it's not just border policies changing, it's perceptions. A recent April poll shows that American views of Canada as an ally dropped from 80% in 2023 to just 66% in 2025. That drop matters, because it reflects something deeper. Being Canadian used to mean you could expect their treatment. But in 2025, that welcome now depends on who you are or how you look. 6. Denied without reason. You can do everything right. Book your flight, have a valid visa, bring all the documents, and still be turned away. Just ask Jasmine Mooney, a Canadian actress and entrepreneur. In 2024, she traveled to Los Angeles on a valid work visa, but when she crossed into the U.S. from Mexico, she was stopped and detained for 12 days. No explanation, no charges. Eventually, she was deported, and now she's banned from re-entering. And she's not the only one. Dozens of Canadians have reported being denied entry for vague or unexplained reasons. Sometimes, it's just a gut feeling from an agent, and there's no appeals process. In 2025, following the rules isn't always enough. Sometimes, all it takes to be turned away is to make someone uncomfortable. 7. Once flagged. Always watch the most unsettling part. Once you're flagged at the border, it might not stop there. A growing number of Canadians say that after one bad experience, even one they didn't understand, they're pulled aside more often. Every single time, even with new documents. Even years later, you don't get a notification. You don't know it changed, but something did, and the Canadian government admits. U.S. border decisions are final, unappealable, and often unexplained. There's no way to find out what triggered it, and no way to fix it. This isn't just border control anymore. It's a system that remembers you, even when you've done nothing wrong. And in 2025, that memory might be the most uncomfortable part of all. So what does all of this really mean? The border didn't close, but for more and more Canadians, it no longer feels open either. It's not about one rule or one incident. It's about trust quietly slipping away and a growing question echoing across Canada. Am I still welcome there? If you crossed the U.S. border recently, we want to hear from you. Your story might help others understand what's really changing. And if this video resonated with you, like and subscribe, because what's happening at the U.S. border today may shape how Canadians travel for years to come.